All right, day 44, Storage 100 series. I am Joe Downs, and today we're diving into the environmental reports that can make or break a deal. I actually once had a deal on a great property, amazing location, killer numbers, but the seller kept dragging their feet on the environmental report and even information. We finally got it, and it turned out the site was a former commercial cleaning plant using toxic chemicals, and worse, they just dumped the chemicals on site back then. The contamination was so bad, the bank immediately pulled the plug, and we lost 3 months of work and thousands of dollars in legal. And that's why understanding this stuff is critical. We're going to break down exactly what a phase one is, why the bank cares so much, and how to spot the red flags that lead to phase two nightmares. Okay, so what exactly is a phase one environmental site assessment? Well, think of it as a deep background check on the land itself. It's not about drilling or taking samples yet, it's a historical review. The consultant is looking through old city directories, fire insurance maps, and aerial photos to see what the property was used for 50 or even 100 years ago. And they're specifically hunting for past uses like a gas station or a dry cleaner or an old landfill or something. The goal is to identify any potential environmental liabilities before you sign on the dotted line. And this is the first line of defense, folks. It's mandatory for almost every commercial real estate loan. But why is it mandatory? Well, let's look at the legal reason. The bank's going to require this report because of a nasty piece of legislation called CERCLA, CERCLA. This law is the trap that catches many unsuspecting buyers. Under CERCLA, if you buy contaminated land, you are responsible for the cleanup, even if you didn't cause the contamination. It's called strict joint and several liability, and it means the government can come after you for the full cost, even if you only own the property for a day. That is a huge financial risk. The phase one report is the shield. If the report comes back clean, it grants you and the bank what's called the innocent landowner defense. This defense protects you from the liability for pre-existing contamination. It's the only way to get protection, and it's why the banks won't lend without it. Now, what exactly are they looking for in that report? Well, the phase one report is all about finding what we call recognized environmental conditions, or RECs. These are the red flags that signal potential contamination. Certain past uses are almost guaranteed to be high-risk RECs. So what does that look like? A gas station is a classic example because of potential leaking underground storage tanks, or lusts as they're called. Dry cleaners are also extremely high risk because the solvents they use, like perc, are notorious for seeping into the soil and groundwater. Auto repair shops are medium risk, usually involving oil dumping or battery acid or something, but they still require scrutiny. If the report identifies a wreck, it means there is a high probability of contamination, and that leads us to the next, much more expensive step. If your phase one report identifies a wreck, the bank will almost certainly require a phase two, and that's where the deal can turn into a nightmare. Phase two is the physical testing. They bring in the drill rigs and take soil borings and groundwater samples to confirm if contamination is actually present. This is expensive, costing you $10,000, $20,000 out of pocket, and it takes 4 to 6 weeks, which could kill your closing timeline. The biggest risk is that the testing confirms contamination, and then the deal dies right there. If a seller is pushing back on a phase two, they're hiding something. So take that as your cue to run. This is a crucial step to protect your investment. You need to understand the cost and timeline for these environmental reports. So you're probably looking at $3,000 to $5,000 per parcel. That's a small price, though, for peace of mind. The turnaround time is about 15 to 20 days, 3 to 4 weeks. The pro tip here is critical. Order this day one of your due diligence. Do not wait for the last minute. If you wait, you'll be rushing and you might miss something huge. So let's talk about how to actually read this massive report once it lands your inbox. All right, once you get the report, you'll quickly notice it's a monster. It's usually 300 pages long, but you don't need to read all 300 pages. We're going to use the 80-20 rule here. So most of the pages are boilerplate, maps, geology data, old historical photos, whatever. You can skip all that. The only 5 pages you need to focus on are the executive summary, the findings, and the opinions and the recommendations. So executive summary, findings and opinions, and the recommendations. These sections will tell you exactly what the engineer found and what they think you should do about it. You need to be able to quickly determine if you have a problem or not. But even if you read the summary and it looks clean, there's one more critical piece of paper you need to protect yourself. And this is the most important document in the whole process. It's called the reliance letter. If the seller ordered the phase one report, it was prepared for them. That means the liability is only between the seller and the engineer. If the engineer missed something, you can't sue them. That report is useless to you. You need a reliance letter. This letter is a simple document that authorizes the report to be addressed to you and your lender. This is your CYA protocol. It transfers the liability. If the engineer messed up and you get stuck with a massive cleanup bill, you have full protection and a valid claim against them. Always make sure the report is addressed to you. It's a non-negotiable part of your due diligence. All right. Now that you know how to protect yourself, let's wrap this up. Not another exciting episode, I know, but these are the important episodes. Extremely important, by the way, on the environmental due diligence front. This is the stuff that can kill a deal and may save your business by killing that deal. If you found this information helpful, please say hello to the algos and give me a like. If you haven't subscribed yet and you know who you are, do it so you don't miss out on the daily video drops. And more importantly, the opportunity to ask questions during the recaps where I also have live industry experts on. And here's the most important part. Share this video with a friend who's about to buy a gas station conversion or any property with questionable environmental risk, either that property or next door. They will definitely thank you later.